Losing track of time, but that's so typical of us. When I hear the bass playing, we're on the floor. I just wanna let out my roar. Can't wait no more. Dancing like we're animals. Hands up in the air. Jump around like you don't care. Let people stare. Just put your hands up in the air. Just put your hands up in the air. Dancing like we're animals. Moving through the lights, let the music carry me. Act like tomorrow never comes, it's as good as it can be. When I hear the bass playing, we're on the floor. I just wanna let out my roar. Can't wait no more. Dancing like we're animals. Hands up in the air. Jump around like you don't care. Let people stare. Just put your hands up in the air. Just put your hands up in the air. Dancing like we're animals.
Yeah. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. We're here with all the animals, and I'm so excited today. So I brought you outside in the cafe so you could just kind of see the animals, but we're going to be coming on inside with the Animal Lovers Cafe because today at the cafe, we're going to be talking with Dog Trainer Sandi Thompson, who's going to be sharing with you the difference reward-based dog training can make for you and your dog or your puppy. And do you have a dog? Could you write yes or no in the comments? Oh, yeah, Marcus. Okay, I have to share this. The llama is back. Absolutely, the llama is always here for you, Marcus. So, here's another one for you guys. So if you have a dog or a puppy, have they ever done things that don't make you happy? You know what I'm talking about, right? Share that in the comments because guess what? You're in the right place because we're going to be talking about reward-based dog training, and training shouldn't hurt with the amazing Sandi Thompson. But first, I want to welcome. If you're new, I want to welcome you. Please write new in the comments so that we can welcome you and get to know you. And if you don't know me, because you're new, my name is Janet Dobbs of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, where my greatest joy is to help you discover your unique way of communicating with animals. So I want to share with you a little bit about Sandi before I bring her on. I know you can't wait, right? I can't wait either. I'm so excited. So Sandi Thompson is located in the San Francisco Bay Area of California. And Sandi is the founder and owner of Brovo Pup, and it's an LLC. Sandi began her animal training career at the ripe old age of 12 as a volunteer at the Oakland Zoo, where she cared for exotic animals and taught sign language to chimpanzees. That's so cool. Sandi has appeared on CNN, Animal Planet, Ripley's Believe It or Not, and many other shows. And Sandi has 2 dogs, Turtle and Sam Sam. So welcome, Sandi. I'm so excited that you're here. And, thank you for joining us in the cafe.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
And, so how did you get started with dog training and with animals? And, I see you have somebody with you.
Oh, this is Sam. He's
Hi,
one of my rescue dogs. I have 2 rescue dogs. I actually rescued him from the floods in Thailand in 2011. So he's been with me for quite a while.
Wow.
And then Turtle,
Sam.
who is sleeping, is also a rescue dog. But I got into dog. I've always been an animal person. When I was a kid, I was always bringing home all the strays. I had mice and rats and guinea pigs. I mean, just the whole gambit. And then when I was in 6th grade, they were offering a docent program for kids at the zoo, at the Oakland Zoo, and I was like, oh my God, I have to do that. I can't live unless I get accepted into this program. So I wrote a whole essay, and they accepted me, and I began volunteering at the Oakland Zoo, and that's how my career sort of got started. I got hooked into training because they were teaching me how to do some training with some of the exotic animals. Now that I look back on it, not all of that was all positive, but it is how I got my start. And then Oakland Zoo in Oakland, California has become one of the best zoos in the country. Like, it is state of the art in terms of caring for the animals and producing enrichment for them, making sure that they're happy and healthy. So I got hooked there, and then I decided, okay, I want to work with animals. I'm either going to be a vet or something else. And then I took my dog to a dog training class, and I was like, this is what I want to do, because I was fascinated with how the animals were learning. And the more I got into it, the more I realized that this type of training that I was being taught was really not a very nice way of training animals. But at the time, it was all was there. It was choke chains, prong collars, shouting, pushing their butt down. And it just didn't feel right to me. And then I'll never forget it. The dog trainer that was in charge took my dog for a demo for heel. We had to have choke chains on our dogs or we couldn't be in the class. This was in like the 1970s. So this is how things were done back then. And then she took my dog, a little Cocker Spaniel, little tiny, cute, little young 6-month-old Cocker Spaniel. And she started jerking on her collar and yelling at her, and then praising her when she was in position. And if she wasn't in position, she got jerked and yelled at. And I melted because my dog was screaming in pain and fear. And I was visibly upset. And the trainer said, no, it's okay. This is how it's done. She'll learn this way. And that was the last time I went to that class. I can't do this to my animals.
Good for you.
Yeah. But it was accepted. It was accepted. And then I found a trainer in the Bay Area, Dr. Ian Dunbar, who was just starting this positive training movement. And how lucky was I that he was in the Bay Area where I was. because he was the only person doing this. He was a
Wow.
pioneer. And so I studied with him, and the rest is history.
Wow. And it's just I don't have the words about that kind of training, and that happens for dogs and it happens for horses. And I can't comprehend it, I guess, in part. If anyone would just put themselves in the position of that dog or that horse, how would you feel? I mean,
Exactly.
I was brought up when corporal punishment for children was allowed and acceptable, but
Right.
it didn't make any of us feel like you. So, do you want a relationship with your animal companion that's fear-based? Because that's what it
Exactly.
is. Or do you want an animal just like children or humans that's broken? Their spirit is totally, they're not able to be themselves. They're just like, okay, I'll do whatever you say. Just don't hit me. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're such a sensitive. You were able to, and it's funny, you mentioned a Cocker Spaniel. That's my first dog was a Cocker Spaniel. So I'm like, oh, your baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see my pictures very blurry. I'm sorry
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
that's okay.
Um,
Well, live TV, right? We'll wave our
right.
magic
Exactly. We
wand
just go
and
with it.
poof, poof, it's going to be all clear again. But I can still see you. I can hear you. So how did you get like that program that you started that you not that you started, the one that like at the zoo with the chimpanzees? I find that fascinating. So you actually taught them sign language?
Yes. It was, we had two very young, unfortunately, chimpanzees at the time, at what they called the baby zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, was where all the baby animals were, and they were out on display, and then they would bring them in for some quality time, and they were teaching sign language, so they taught me how to do that.
Oh, wow.
And so that was my start.
Wow.
We taught the chimpanzees bottle, you know hungry, I love you, that kind of thing, and they're so smart. I mean, they pick it up so fast.
Wow. Wow. And then that got you
But
to, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, looking back on it now,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of animal neglect going on, and you know, I feel bad about that. I was too young to really
Mm-hmm.
understand, but it's how I got my start, and I just look at it as I help as many animals as I can now.
And, I have the same thing, it's like we all have a past the older we get, right? And we do the best we can in that moment, and we don't know any different. Or this is like maybe,
Right,
especially if you're younger, this is what the adults say are right. And as we grow up, we can make our own decisions and we do the best we can. It's like I've had things that, I've said with animals over the years, I wish I had known
right,
then what I know now, but we didn't. So I think the best thing for any of us that, we have something that we regret in our past, learn
right.
from it and move on. And maybe for me, I find like I have to forgive myself, but I didn't know it. I did the best I could. I thought it was the best thing. But
Right.
now we can be so much better. And of course, we'll be even better tomorrow. But we just have now.
Exactly.
We just have now. And you're amazing. So tell me about Bravo Pup and your business
Oh,
and how you got to that.
well, my company, Bravo Pup, I started in about 2008. I've been training dogs for over 30 years. Um, and in 2008, I started my own business called Bravo Pup. So that's in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we have classes for puppies are our specialty because we want to start them
Oh,
off right, teach the people how to train them right from the beginning. So that's our specialty. We teach a lot of puppy classes, And then we do other classes too for dogs. And then we have virtual classes, which I'm really excited about, for dogs that have, maybe they're not so good in a classroom environment. It's too distracting for them. Maybe they're scared of other dogs or people. So we have virtual classes for those types of dogs that don't get along with other dogs or are shy. And so that's nice. We just discovered that it works so much better if it's a virtual class for dogs that are, you know, a little intimidated. We found that out during the pandemic. So that's quite exciting for us because we can get a lot done with way more done with the online virtual classes for those types of dogs.
That's exciting. And so I have a question for you. So I'm not in the Bay Area. We're on opposite coasts of the U.S. If I had a puppy, would I be able to take a virtual class from you?
Well, we don't have virtual puppy classes
Or,
anymore.
okay, a dog. If I had a dog, a puppy.
Yes. Oh, yes, we have virtual training classes. It's mostly specialty classes for certain types of problems. The basic classes, we don't have them online anymore because everybody's opened up now and nobody wants everybody wants their dog, their puppies especially, to be with other puppies because that's important.
Right. Well, the socialization and all of that.
Right.
Yeah. But you do have actual classes that are open to anybody all over the world virtually for specific things. And if they want to find out about that, I'm going to just quickly share your information and go to bravopup.com, right?
Go to bravopup.com and click on the virtual tab.
Okay.
And you'll see all the virtual classes that we offer.
That's fantastic. This is exciting.
And
I'm sorry.
All the classes, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No.
I just wanted to say all the classes are taught with positive reinforcement, which means we reward them for the things that we want them to do, because the more the behavior is rewarded, the more it'll happen.
Yeah.
So it's all,
I love that.
It's all positive reinforcement, family oriented.
Nice. And I feel like that's important, that the whole family is trained, educated.
Yes.
So when you said family oriented, I'm like, oh, I didn't even get to ask you about, and I was going to, I feel like, so at one point in time, my husband and I were going to get a puppy and a kitten, and because we love both, but we were working really, really long hours and thought that it would be unfair to the puppy or a dog to be left alone. Kitty cats can handle, they don't have to be let out to go to the bathroom. So we ended up getting 2 kitties. But where I'm going with this is, I was like, I haven't had a dog since I was a kid growing up. And I felt I would have to be trained or educated how to help and support my puppy or dog. So I feel like it's, about the humans as much as it is about the animals, and maybe more so. How do you feel about that?
Well, you just hit on something, because that's how my job, as I see it, is to teach the people how to train the puppy, how to understand behavior. So I'm just as much of a people trainer than a dog trainer. Actually, probably more of a people trainer. Training the dogs is easy for me. It's not so easy training the human sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. And so I was going to say, and why do you think that is? I have my thoughts.
Well, there's many reasons, but a lot of times people have, Marcus, you can train me. Marcus, what reward do you work for?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, what's your reward? Mac and cheese? Hamburgers? I digress.
That's okay. So
what were we talking about?
How to, I guess, Training the humans, educating the humans.
Mm.
And
Right. Yes. Well, a lot of people have preconceived notions about how dog training should be. A lot of people are watching these new dog training shows that are
Right.
on cable TV,
Right.
which are absolute crap. Most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them use, you know, force methods, intimidation methods.
Mm-hmm.
They just happen to edit it
Mm-hmm.
nicely so that it looks easy and it looks like you get results right away, and
Mm-hmm.
it looks like everybody's happy, but that's not the case usually.
Right.
With those shows. It's it's fear, force training, it's old school,
Mm-hmm.
and it's editing.
Yeah.
Real dog training does not make a good TV. Well, I should say positive reward-based dog training does not make good TV because it takes a long time. You have to practice each step over and over until the dog understands, and then you add another step and then another step and another step. Doesn't make good TV. That would be boring.
Right.
So,
well, with the right producer and the right editor, you could do it. We should team up. That's for another time. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I understand exactly what you're saying. It's so true. Yeah.
And so they come into class or they come into training thinking that that's the right way to train. And then it's hard for them to overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we're battling with, is all these brand new TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to speak about that, but to speak more to what you're doing and bringing to the world, what you bring to the world in your way, the kind way, goes along with some of the things that I teach. One of the things I teach in my animal communication beginning workshops, especially. Okay, hold on, Marcus. Oh, yeah.
I know,
so
Marcus.
I'm with you on this, Marcus. So, but for me, the thing about humans when we're training dogs or horses, so any training, we need to pay attention to ourselves. So it's about this, for me, it's about being interconnected, being connected with, say, it's a dog or a puppy, feeling that heart connection with them and being connected with them. And for we humans to be grounded and center and present. And then what I teach my students is I give an example of, so teaching students how to listen to the animal, right? So I give an example of, hey, let's pretend we're training a puppy and you're training them to sit and stay. So I don't know anything about dog training, but this, it just makes sense. So we're training them to sit and stay, and the puppy's like wagging its tail and it's being all happy and it's sitting and staying and, yeah, you've got it. And we're walking away and we, the human, are going, we get into our humanness and we're thinking, so we've said the word sit, stay, but we're being incongruent in our mind and we're saying, they're not going to sit and stay. They're going to come and be right in front of me. They're just going to, whatever. And what happens is the puppy comes and comes right in front of the person, looks up and like, hey, here I am. And what does the human do? They go, bad dog, you're so stupid.
Right.
And when in fact, it was the human's mistake. So again, you help people understand, like, we have to be clear what we're thinking in our mind and what we're saying with our words. So if you had pictured in your mind the puppy sitting and staying and felt that in your heart and felt that with your whole being as you're walking away, they probably would get the picture, because animals think more in pictures like we did before we were pre-verbal. And so for me, that's, just the animal communication. You're doing like the physical, the real stuff, and you're seeing the results. So is that anything similar to what you do? Is there a crossover here?
Yes, actually there is. Dogs do not communicate with verbal language like we do, and we tend to run our mouths a lot. Like we talk, and dogs don't speak English. They don't speak English, so all they're hearing is blah, 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 gobbledygoo. And that distracts them, and it makes it hard for them to, I mean, if you're a puppy, you're distracted by everything anyway, right? So having somebody talk over and over and over to them, it just is it's another distraction that they have to filter out. So what we do is we try to teach people not to talk, to keep their bodies still, to show the dog what they want, and then reward it. And that is so hard for people to do, because we talk so much. But dogs communicate through body language, facial expressions. So they're very in tune to what we're doing with our bodies. And so if our hands are going all over the place, most people are very impatient. Sit. They want it to happen right away. Sit, sit, sit. They keep saying sit, 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 sit. And the dog is like, what? So so we try and teach everybody to, if you're going to say a word, only say it once. And the reason I teach people that is because they can't help but talk to their dog. So if I allow them to say one word, then it's not so hard for them. So yeah, quiet bodies, quiet mouths. We teach them hand signals, and then we reward what we want. And the very last step is actually putting the word to it, which is very, very hard for people to understand because it goes against their instincts. So yes, there is similarities there.
And you mentioned hand signals. So can you explain that to me? Would you mind sharing about that, how that works? And I will
so
we can
to
see
teach a dog a
you.
hand, I have a treat in my hand here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if this here is the dog, and I put the treat on the dog's nose, and I lift the treat up, and the dog watches it, the head will go up, and then the butt will go down. And as soon as the butt touches the floor, we say, yes, and we give the treat. And that upward hand motion that you're using with the treat becomes a hand signal. And they pick up on this very fast, really quickly. So
wow, that makes perfect sense. I love it.
Hand signals.
Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. And I felt, well, that's what I do anyhow. I become the dog. But I just felt like, okay, and you're right. Yep. As you do that, you naturally have to they have to sit down. Yeah. That's fantastic. If the head goes up,
the butt has to go down. You just have to. It just works that way.
Yeah, and I know you have us. You have us. You said that's Sam?
Yeah, I have a visitor here. You can't see him here.
No, but he's very present. He's very and it was funny at one point in time where you were saying something. He walked backwards and he wagged his tail. It was like he's like, "Yeah, Mom, they need to know that one." It's like, pay attention, people.
He's a good boy. Hi, Sam.
Oh, he's just adorable. Okay, we love animals here, of course. It's the Animal Lovers Cafe. So it's all about the animals. Yeah, so that's really amazing, Sandi. I love what you just shared about how your training, your way of training works. It makes perfect sense. And so then eventually, do you not use the treat, or do you always use a reward?
Well, no, we eventually fade the food out. We use other things as rewards, like toys, chase games, anything that the dog finds rewarding. I'm sorry, I don't know why my picture is like that.
Don't worry.
But so we do eventually fade out the food. Okay. However, my dogs are 12 and 15 years old, and I still give them treats. Because I like to. I love to give them joy, and so I don't give them a treat for sit or anything like that anymore. But I do reward every single time for when they come when called, because that's very important.
Oh, yeah, I think that's just amazing. And hi, Anna. So nice that you're here.
Hi, Anna.
So yeah, thank you for joining us. And Sandi has been sharing some amazing tips about, working with our dogs and the connection that we have with our dogs. And yeah, Sandi, I just really am so enjoying, even though I have kitties, but I imagine the same technique could work with, I know people that do train kitties, and it's kind of, I've watched, and the ones that I've watched have been, it's like food. So they would have like on a little spoon or something and then do something similar to what you were doing. And it wasn't, painful, harmful, or whatever the things, we talked about earlier.
No, you can train cats the same. You can train most animals. I had actually had the Oakland Zoo come to some of my classes, and they used the same methods on how to train the animals at the zoo. So that was very exciting.
That is exciting because it's like it came full circle as we were talking in the beginning.
Oh, you're right. I never even thought of that.
We just did. Right. That's so cool. But, you started out. So remember how we were saying, so this is a lesson that I learned from an animal communication teacher of mine. It's like we judge, it's like, oh, somebody is this way and it's like really horrible. And we're like, oh my God, stay away from me. It's really bad. I can't believe you treat animals like that, right? But you never know. So this came full circle from you as a child, as a young, 12-year-old, realizing like this doesn't feel good, but you didn't know any better because the adults were saying you have to do it this way, right? Now they're coming to you.
Exactly.
How good is this?
I didn't think of it that way, but you're right. That's awesome.
Oh, that gives me chills. Yay. Yeah, so, yeah, I want to thank you so much. And so we talked about so many things, the reward-based dog training. You have virtual training that people can also participate in. You're in the San Francisco Bay Area. So for people that, have tuned in a little late, but for not puppy training, but for older dog specific kinds of trainings, they can come to you virtually. And again, I just want to remind everybody, this is Sandi's, you can share. I'll be quiet, Sandi, I'm yammering away, but if you want to talk about, this is your company and the website. Yeah.
Oh, well, the website is bravopup.com, and you can register for classes. We also have private training and we have virtual training there. So we offer lots of different options.
Yeah, I just love everything you do and that you do on behalf of animals. You're just an amazing trainer. I wish you were on the East Coast because I would, but it's really great that I can send, okay, Anna says that I can send people to you that are here. That's exciting for me. It's like, yay, you got to just check Sandi out. But yeah, Anna, let's see.
Anna, it is like having a baby. It is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when you will say, oh, that's so sweet. And well, yeah, it's like, I think our animals, whether they're dogs or cats or horses, even though most horses don't stay inside with us. I do know some people that have a barn attached to their house. That's kind of like being inside with you.
I love that.
But, they are our babies, it's like they are our kids. They're a member of the family, right? And, and then, yeah, like what Anna said, it's like staying with you. It's like having a baby again. I don't know what that's like. I haven't had a human baby, but I've certainly had, and four-legged babies. But yeah, lots of responsibility, lots of things to learn and experience and share. So, Sandi, I'm sorry, you wanted to add something.
Oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. Sorry.
Oh, no, me either. So we're just having a da, 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 da. No, I'm teasing. We just love animals so much, and I just want to thank you so much for being here. And
oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And of course, again, if anybody wants to know anything about you, you can find it in the comments. Sandi's, and Anna, thank you, because I don't want to be cleaning up everybody's stuff in their mouth all the time. That's pretty good, Anna. But You know, I
I'm sorry. I just
did it
got
just hit you? I know, I just did too.
I'm a little slow this
Okay,
morning.
okay. Me too. Oh no, I was a little slow too, but Anna, the good
That
one.
was fun.
We always need humor, right? We have to think about that. So thank you for the, um, thank you for making us smile. And thank you, Sandi, for making us smile.
You're welcome.
All of your information and how to contact you is in the description. Please check out Sandi for all kinds of fun things. But, you know, when it comes to dog training and training yourself, please contact and connect with Sandi. Check out her website and, you know, thank you. And hopefully I would love for you to come back and visit us and we could talk about all kinds of things, you know, go deeper into what you do and what you bring to the world.
I'd love that. I'd love it. Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
Oh, and thank you too. And so we're just gonna have, I'll see if I can figure this out. Sorry. Just to say thank everybody for being here. There's this really fun song I want to play to just kind of, you know, thank you and say goodbye. It's called Chased by the Dog. So we're just going to have a little fun. Thank you again, Sandi, for being with us and have the best day. So thank you again. The puppies are dancing. Bye, everybody. Thanks. Oh, okay. Hold on. Thanks, everybody. Thank you again, Sandi. And the dog's chasing us, so you better run. Thanks, Marcus. See you, everybody. Have fun with your animals, always.